Hi Pisces, I hope that you guys are doing well. Thank you for stopping by for your August channeled message. Please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button to make sure that you show your support. And before I get into this message, please only take what resonates for you and leave what doesn't for someone else, okay? Because not everything is going to be for you or about you. So right before I got into this channeling, I was told by Spirit to pick a single tarot card for you guys, and the card that I drew was Temperance. So immediately I thought of Archangel Michael, who you might work with closely or who is guiding you. It is also Sagittarius energy, so I feel like a lot of you guys might be dealing with or know a Sagittarius that is in your energy right now. And some of you may be feeling balanced or at peace, but I feel like that is a lot of what you're going towards. I didn't say that right, but it's just that I feel like you're going towards that and you want peace. Maybe you don't have it right now, but it's what you want and it's what you're coming towards. There's also a lot of water imagery in that card, so you could be dealing with a water sign, and in your channeling there was just a lot of water for you in general. I mean, you are a water sign yourself, so that makes sense. And I also noticed that if you see the original Rider-Waite Tarot, Archangel Michael is holding 2 cups and he's passing the water back and forth between both of them. So it reminds me of the 2 of Cups. So you might be in a 2 of Cups situation, or that is what you are moving towards, or that is a wish fulfillment for you, is what I'm hearing. But to get into the channeled message, which I got for you guys previously before I came on here, like I said, there's a lot of water imagery that I got for you. So right into your channeling, I drew a well, and I heard wishing well. So I feel like a lot of you guys are wishing for something right now, or you have your eye on someone or something, and it's like you're trying to put in as much manifestation power or, you know, positive thinking as you can into this wish or this dream of yours to make it come true. But then I was also getting, for some reason, that it's like you're feeling this well, this metaphorical well of yours is dried up, or there's nothing in there. And so there was a quote that I found, "We never know the worth of water till the well is dry," by Thomas Fuller. And I felt like that is what you guys are feeling right now, is maybe there's some part of you that feels dried up, feels like there's something missing from your life, or there's something or someone who is absent from it. I feel like a lot of you guys are thinking about the past, how there was something that was worth a lot to you, but maybe you didn't know it until it was gone, or you didn't have it anymore. But again, take that only if it resonates. I feel like for some of you, you guys are going through a lot behind the scenes, but you're presenting yourself in a way where you're showing up in the world as if everything is good or right in the world. I'm gonna adjust this for a second. There we go. I feel, oh, maybe you're making adjustments in life. But back to what I was saying, you are presenting yourself and you're telling others that you're okay, that you're good, but in secret, I feel like you're emotional, or there's secrets that you're holding on to that you're not telling anyone about. But there's something that I feel like you're hiding, Pisces, and that doesn't have to be anything deceitful. It can just be like you're hiding your feelings or your emotions. You're hiding away who you are to certain people. Or perhaps you're in hermit mode, so I guess Virgo could be another sign. But I feel like you're hiding, maybe hiding yourself from the world or from people that you know. And I heard the word hidden, or words hidden in plain sight. So I feel like you're really good at this narrative that you play where, Paolo, okay. Sorry guys, hold on. Come here. Come here. So, he got up onto my camera, so maybe you guys are feeling a little wobbly or out of sorts. It's like a lot of distractions or a lot of things trying to interrupt what I'm doing here, so you might feel like that is going on for you. Or maybe I hear that everyone wants your attention. Everyone wants you or your attention, like instead of all eyes on you. Well, yeah, it would be all eyes on you. Yeah. But anyway, I feel like you are hiding. I feel like you are hiding something you don't want other people to know. And that could be significant. I'm also hearing that you need to work more on staying positive. So work on affirmations. Like I wrote down, I am slowly becoming the person I need to be. Because I feel like for some of you, maybe you're not liking who you are right now, or you're not liking the person that you have been. And now I feel like you're moving into a new era of your life where you're gonna be the person that not only you need, but that other people need. But then again, I feel like maybe you've overextended yourself to other people, or other people have needed you to be a certain way. And what I'm hearing is that you're no longer going to be like that. It's just that you're going to become who you need more. It's not like you aren't willing to help people, but I think you're just more willing to put yourself first. Not in a selfish way, just you're realizing that you need to take care of yourself more than you have been. I was also getting the feeling like you're boxed in, and Spirit is trying to get you to sit down and take notice of things. I feel like while you do feel like you're boxed in or your life is stagnant, I feel like you're trying to move forward or push really hard into a direction, and Spirit is telling you that actually, even though you are in like a period of stagnation or maybe even isolation, you just need to sit down. That actually the way out of this isn't by trying to do everything that you can all at once, or overextending yourself, or doing too much. It's actually taking the time to sit down, to reflect, to meditate, to breathe, to be mindful, to appreciate the time that you have now and to show your gratitude for it. But Spirit wants you to take that time for yourself, for quiet and silence, because that is when you hear Spirit the most. And I know for me, I never connected with or heard God in church ever. It's just that you hear God when everything else is silent. And that's where spirit needs you to be, is in that silence and that place of calm, that temperance that perhaps you're trying to get to, or that spirit wants you to be in, so that your guides, your ancestors can reach you. Because I feel like maybe in some way you're pushing everyone away, whether or not you're realizing that, or you're just making yourself more distant or unavailable. And I feel like that comes from you not wanting to get hurt in a certain way, or again, is what I'm hearing. So it's like you're pushing people away because you don't want to get hurt again, or you don't want that connection, but in actuality, you're hurting yourself because you are pushing people away. Because sometimes healing does require a hermit mode, but then we also have to remind ourselves that we can't push everyone away who's trying to help us. And I think Spirit is trying to say, be aware of the people who are trying to help you versus trying to just use you for attention, or use you for all the wrong things that you shouldn't be focused on right now. I feel like, again, you're thinking a lot about the past, but the past is feeling closer to you, is what I'm hearing. It's like the past won't let you go, or it's like you're realizing something about your past that only you're able to recognize now. But perhaps you're wondering why you weren't able to recognize it before, and I feel like you're reflecting on that. I was also picking up on the imagery of time as well, which showed up in Capricorn's reading too. So you could be connected to a Capricorn, you don't have to be, whatever. But I feel like you're kind of racing against time, or racing against the clock. I feel like there's something that you have to do, or you're pushing yourself to do at a certain time, or you feel limited by things or by a situation. I was channeling the song Back to the Races by Emma Ruth Rundle, and it's this feeling that it's like you're in the rat race of, it's like whenever you move forward, it just seems like it's moving you backwards. You're not really moving at all. You're not moving forward. Or perhaps there was some sort of competition that you wanted to win, or someone else wanted to win around you. That there was some sort of race to the finish line. I'm hearing that finish line is important. So some of you might be runners, or you could have done like a marathon or something. But the word finish line is coming up really loud for you right now. And I think that could be just that perhaps there's a certain cycle in your life that is closed, and you have come to the finish line. But then I'm also hearing the song by Jake Wesley Rogers, and I can't remember the name of the song right now, but it's like every new beginning starts at the finish line, and I feel like that's where you are right now. But I feel like you have to end something, like you're so close to getting there to the end. But it's like, I'm hearing that you're like the hare from the tortoise and the hare, I think. It's like you're hopping around and looking at everything else, but you're not really focused on getting to the end of something, or ending something, or moving on. It's like you are aware of where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, but you're not moving yourself any closer to it, is kind of what I'm getting. But it feels like you know this though, and it feels like you are purposely I'm hearing taking the easier way out or route. Something about bypassing. You could be trying to bypass something that you know that you're supposed to be doing. And there's something about your timeline needing to be finished, or that it will be finished for you, because eventually everything does, and that's when the tower happens, because instead of just doing it for ourselves, the universe comes in and does it and shakes everything up, and everything falls apart. And that's why it's so traumatic when the tower happens, because we didn't listen. We weren't listening to something. We weren't listening to reason, or we wanted to turn a blind eye to something. And I'm hearing there was like something that you were supposed to do that you ended up ignoring. And it's like Spirit is calling you to go back and fix something. I was also getting that, what is this? That you, how do I say this? It's like you're feeling like someone is leaving you behind, or you feel left behind in life in a way. You feel like something was unfinished, or was left. Something or someone is leaving, or has left. And I feel like maybe that's where you feel like that racing against time, and feeling like you only have a certain amount of time to reconcile with a person, or explain something, or share something. There's something about you rushing to tell someone something before someone else does, and that's for only some of you. That's not going to be for all of you, but you could just be feeling like you have to be rushed forward, rushed into something, rushed towards someone. There's just this feeling of being rushed, and it's because you feel like in some way a sort of detachment that someone is doing. Or maybe it's you, detaching is not a word, but detaching yourself from someone. You could perhaps feel like this is payback for something. The one who got away, but someone is leaving, or you are leaving someone, and that I was picking up on very heavily. I feel like this is at a time in your life where perhaps you've experienced a lot of loss, and loss doesn't have to only be in death. It can be people too. And I feel like there are a lot of people who perhaps are falling away from you, maybe at this time. I'm hearing Green Day, what is it, I hope you've had the time of your life, like that song. I feel like, again, you're at the close of an era, the World card. There's a cycle that is meant to be closing right now, and I feel like you're trying to hold open the door, keep the door open, and not let it close, is what it feels like. I feel like you are very connected to a person, whether that is energetically or, physically in the 3D, I feel like you are very close to someone. But I'm feeling that you're very close to someone who you're in no contact with, someone that you're close with energetically. And I was also channeling the song My Immortal by Dayseeker. And this is heavy twin flame energy, but it's just, the song is about a connection that will never end, and regardless of time or the 3D reality, it's just that you will always have each other. And with twin flames, you know, some twins never end up together, some twins are never meant to or supposed to. It just depends on the agreement that you have on the other side. And I feel like one of you recognizes that or knows that. One of the twins, I mean, is aware of that, and perhaps one of the other ones isn't, is what I'm hearing, or if that makes sense, I don't know. But it's just like, I get like Jack and Rose vibes from the Titanic, but where they die and then they see each other. That's what twin flames are. That's how it's supposed to be in the afterlife, because it's your higher selves coming together in a higher realm. And it's like you're gonna talk about everything that you did, the agreement that you had down on earth, and you're gonna be like, man, I really messed that up, or we were supposed to be doing this and you did this. And I feel like this is, I don't know, this is gonna be specific only for certain people who feel like they have a twin, but you never forget your twin, and you always end up with them in the afterlife, though a lot of the times you're never meant to be with them down here. So I feel like you could be saying goodbye to a twin, or someone that you had a really close connection with. But it's like, I don't feel like you guys are ever gonna be saying goodbye. It's like you guys are gonna know each other. You're gonna have that telepathic telepathic communication for the rest of your life. And only you guys know what that is. If you have a twin, you know what I'm talking about. And some of you could end up with a twin. But I feel like if you have one, this is kind of what you're thinking about, is this person. And perhaps there isn't a way for a reconciliation between twins, but Spirit is saying that it had to happen this way, it was written this way, there was no other way for it to go, that fate is what it is and there really isn't any changing it, that this was a predetermined destiny, that an agreement was made beforehand that it was going to end like this. So as much as we want to change things, sometimes the divine doesn't let us. And that can be a hard lesson to learn too. So I also was getting the song Nobody Knows Me Like You Do by Birdie. And I wrote down, I have a lot for you guys, but I wrote down the lyrics because I felt like this related to you guys and what you feel. And dark are my days now that I face them on my own, and I swore I'd be fine till I realized that you still love me. Your eyes were bright again like when we first met. You're in my dreams, and for a while it seems we're unbroken, and if I could I'd never leave. So I was getting that you replay the first time you met this person a lot over and over again in your head. And I'm also hearing that you visit this person in their dreams, or this person visits you in your dreams, or you're daydreaming about this person, like you're daydreaming or wishing on a life that you've never had with this person before. And there's also this sense of, what is it? Knowing that this person has found someone else as well, and trying to give that up and be okay with that in a way as well. But I feel like this person, whoever it is that you're giving up, this was the only person who ever really got you or really saw you. This was the person who was able to push down all your barriers. And I'm hearing, and that's kind of why you left. Or that was one of the reasons why you could have. Or if you were dealing with a twin and they left, it was because you saw something in them that no one else had before. And they didn't want to get hurt. They didn't want to be the ones to relive some painful experience that they have had before. Sorry guys, my light keeps shutting on and off, so it's annoying. I'm gonna have to fix that. But I was saying something. Oh, I feel like you're coming into a time in your life where you're becoming a better person. You're becoming aware of yourself. I feel like you're healing. You could be going to therapy. You could be seeing a therapist. I feel like this is the version of yourself that you've been searching for a very long time, or the person that you've wanted to be. You feel like you're closer to being that person now than ever. I wrote down, you're also more focused than you've ever been before in this life. And it was like something has changed inside of you, perhaps because of this person or another person, but it's something about, maybe even in the past, it's some sort of realization you're having, even about your childhood and about the way that you handle relationships as an adult. But it's something about you being able to now go within and face something that you've never really wanted to before. Perhaps there was some sort of trauma that had happened to you when you were a child, and this is something that you've never told anyone, but it's something that you've had to deal with for your entire life. And it's affected you in a lot of ways that you didn't even know or hadn't even realized. And I feel like if you're realizing this, you don't want this affecting you anymore. It's like you don't want this here with you anymore. You want to place it down somewhere else. This burden that you've been carrying since you were a child, it's like you've had it on your shoulders like Sophocles. And I feel like you're just willing to release it now at this time where you're learning how to. And Spirit is saying that they are guiding you. And Archangel Michael, like the Temperance card that I got, is guiding you very heavily into doing this, into this new season. Again with the water, but I always channel a lot through music, but Alexander Nate has a song called Rain Down on Me, and I feel like you are emotional right now at this time where you're going through a lot of emotions. It's like you've come to the point where it's just like you are ready to accept and feel everything that has come to you, that whatever needs to be poured out or poured onto you in a metaphorical sense, I feel like that's what you're allowing to happen right now at this time. And then I wrote down for some reason that there's from the song Rain Down on Me, there's two sides to a story. It depends on how you tell it. And I'm getting that, or I feel like one of you might be telling a certain side to a story that you know isn't true. Or perhaps someone has done this to you. But there's something about stories. Perhaps a story in your family wasn't told to you. Perhaps a story was hidden from you. Perhaps you've hidden your story from other people. Perhaps there's a community or a group of people who are listening to a story or stories, and it's like they have to decide for themselves, but I'm hearing that there was someone who wasn't there to give their story. Someone wasn't there to tell it, and I don't know if that's you or someone else. But there's a story that isn't being told correctly. I feel like this could be someone around you who perhaps didn't fully tell you the whole truth. There's a story here that just feels hidden, and I don't know who that's for or on which side it is, but it does feel like there's a story that hasn't been told yet that is very significant for someone. I was also channeling that someone here has blue eyes or blonde hair. Someone here has tattoos as well, and I know that those are very generic, but I'm also seeing that someone likes to ride their bike. I guess that could be like a regular bike or a motorcycle. There's something about the color black, so you could have like a black vehicle as well. Roses could be significant. Someone could like roses, or a rose tattoo is what I'm hearing as well. Something about your face that people find perhaps innocent or attractive, or like it's like you're good at calling people in is kind of what I'm hearing. Like people will just naturally want to come up with you or be near you or close to you. You have like a face or a presence about you where people want to get to know you. They want to be close to you. They want to know you. You have this kind of attractive pull that does pull a lot of people in, like a magnet is what I'm hearing. You're like a magnet. You're magnetic is what I should say. And I'm getting that a lot of people try to move on from you, but they don't. You might have a lot of people from your past trying to hold on to you and your energy. Some of you might be feeling left out in the cold by someone or something. Again, it's like this feeling of someone moving on and letting go. I'm getting again like this kind of emotional sadness or pain or disappointment where it's like, again, I feel like you're really in a stage of healing, or this is what Spirit wants you to do. And I'm hearing that the trauma that you experienced when you were a child or when you were younger, if you have experienced anything, I feel like you guys have been asking whether or not God saw it. And a lot of you, I'm feeling like you don't believe he did, because if he did, he would have stopped it. And I wrote down that God did know, he knew, but there were some things that couldn't be solved, and free will has a lot to do with it too, because God can only guide people so much into not doing certain things, but at the end of the day, they still make their choices and their decisions into doing things. I'm hearing that God still tries to prevent things, but people are still led by devils anyway. He doesn't make our choices for us, is what I wrote. But he can use what has been done against you for you. And I know that you guys are thinking that's a really fucked up way, but I can't give you an answer to that. This is not my story. I'm just presenting what I'm feeling or what I'm recognizing for you. And again, this may not even resonate with anyone that I'm talking to, but I feel like for someone it is. I feel like I was also channeling Tupac when I was downloading this as well. I was hearing I was given this world, I didn't make it. So I was feeling like God made this, or yeah, something about how God has given us this world, but he didn't make it. We made it. We made the things happen here. We made the choices. We've done all the evil. We've done all the good. There was never a thing that was ever really done by God. I mean, God's will be done, but that is only from certain people working through that will. And that is still human. I don't know if what I'm saying is going to make sense for anyone. Another thing that I wrote down as well, it's over here on the side with a heart, but it just says, Spirit wanted me to tell you how loved you are, and Spirit is saying that they're using me to tell you this, that they just want you to know that. Yeah. And that not all bad things can be prevented. And sometimes we can't be saved until we're ready. That there are certain angels that are here to help guide you as well, and you can meet those angels in the form of people. And I feel like if you know, you know, but you've met one already. You've had a connection with an earth angel, and this person has somehow guided you in your life. I'm feeling like that could have been an older person, maybe like a grandparent who's passed away, or maybe even like a stranger on the street. It's just something about you having met a person who you felt like might have or could have saved you, and this is a very specific message, but there's something about angels here as well. And again, that just reminds me of the Temperance card with Archangel Michael. You could work with the archangels. I was also channeling that if you've had a sick pet or a pet that has passed on, this pet is fine and they are with you. And when you need them, you can call out to them, or they come to you if you call them, or they're just around you. And this animal is one of your spirit guides. And I feel like if you've had a lot of losses in your life or a lot of grief, I wrote down that one person's grief is another's reunion. So maybe that can help someone. I know it doesn't change things, but it could help in the way that we view it. That sometimes, although we lose someone here, it is a reconnection for others on the other side, if you believe in that. But I feel like that is it for you, Pisces. I feel like you are going into a new era where you're healing yourself. And I think that you should be proud of yourself for that, because I feel like maybe you haven't always done that before. Maybe you haven't always been there for yourself, or realized that you could be the best person of yourself, or the best version of yourself. And I feel like you're in a new cycle now where you're learning how to do that, how to love yourself unconditionally. Or if you're not learning that now, you're learning it in the future. And I feel like that's what's coming for you very soon. Oh, you know what? It's actually raining really hard here just now. And I was saying at the beginning of this reading how you have a lot of water in this reading. And there's also the song Rain Down on Me that I channel. I feel like God could be using rain as a way of cleansing out old toxicity from your life. It's like an old version of you is being washed away. I also got this for the Aquarius channeling, but there's something, for the Aquarius, you could have Aquarius in your chart or no one, I don't know, but there's something about like a baptism or being cleansed or renewed by water. So maybe you need to get out into water more and cleanse yourself. Again, there's a beep for confirmation, so I guess so, but you could also really be connected to another water sign. I'm gonna have to turn that off again. I've had a lot of interruptions, Pisces. 1 second. Alright, hi, Pisces again. This has to be like the 4th time that my video got interrupted because I had a tornado warning in my area and then my power went out. So find your own meaning in that. But I'm gonna read the Moonology deck for you, and then I'm gonna wrap this up, and hopefully when I do Aquarius's reading it's not as disjointed, so I apologize, guys. But let's see. So spirit angels and guides and ascended masters of the highest white light, please give me some cards for the Pisces collective, please. Oh, I was also thinking that you guys could be seeing 8s, because today is the 8-8 portal. You could be seeing a lot of 2s, 9s, 6s, 1s, and 3s. I know that's a lot. But I think specifically 396 or 369. Alright. Well, they're telling me to just pick one, so. Okay. So you have the energy is gaining momentum for waxing moon. You have a time to give rather than take, new moon in Virgo. And a personal issue reaches resolution with a full moon in Cancer. I do feel like these cards relate to what we were talking about, Pisces, but Let's go ahead and read the actual guidebook. Okay, so during the waxing moon cycle, hope springs eternal. This card is a very positive omen, indicating that you can create the reality you're dreaming of, though it will take some work and you're not quite there yet. This is a time of energies rising up. Emotions are building. Where do you want to go, and do you believe you can get there? Either you can just keep meditating and focusing on your desired outcome, or you can make the courageous commitment to take more practical steps towards your goals. Whichever you decide, you are most certainly on the right track. I know I'm headed in the right direction. More effort is required. Are you willing to give it? Review your goals and ensure you're committed. Keep moving forward. I do feel like that has to do with what we were talking about. Thank you, Spirit. Of kind of you thinking back on your past and using it as a motivator to move forward and to heal things, to kind of change your future. I'm hearing whatever it is that you've always done is whatever you're gonna get. I wish I could. I've heard it before, but it's like if you keep doing the same things, you're always gonna get the same outcomes. But when you decide to do something different, you're gonna get something different. So it's like old dog meets new tricks. You could be seeing purple a lot too. I just really like this picture. You could also be connected to birds. Sorry, there we go. Mountains, you could be going to the mountains. Something about that card I think resonates. Okay, so new moon in Virgo. It's time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been humble to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far, and drawing this card suggests you may be underrating yourself. You don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough. At the other end of the scale, you also need to honestly answer this question. Have you been too picky? The full moon and Virgo card needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got to where you are. Your next step should be more obvious to you. Pay attention to detail. Hard work brings results. Find a balance between the cosmic and mundane. Worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. Are you overly critical? An apology may be in order. Stop second-guessing yourself. Raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. I kind of feel like this goes along with the manifestation I said earlier, how perhaps you guys are in a cycle of repeating negative self-talk, or you find it really hard to remain positive in your life, or it just seems like it's easier to focus on the negative than it is the positive. And I think that's where you're being called to release that and let it go. And I know that that's hard to do, but it's also like at the end of the day, why does your own self not deserve to be loved? Why? You just have to decide how worthy you are. And we're all worthy of good things, and you just have to know that about yourself. And that you deserve it, pretty much. One of you could look like this. That's really pretty. Some of you might have red hair. You could also have like I think it's a Medusa piercing. I like those. You could like peonies, chrysanthemums. You could just have, I don't know, you could just be really gorgeous. You could just have really amazing eyebrows too, which I'm jealous of, but okay. Full moon in Cancer. Okay, so you might be dealing with a Cancer or Virgo, but things are likely to get very heated as full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign, so there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals or dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests that both a domestic matter or private issue will soon come to a head and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is your time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. It may be best to move towards what you want in a sideways manner. Don't be too clingy, stop sulking, and have you had enough time for family later? I also was picking up on perhaps some of you might be in like a court situation or like a divorce court, something like that, or be dealing with child support. You could also find out that you're pregnant or that you're expecting. I think that was also on Sagittarius's reading as well. Some of you might find out that you're having a baby boy. Yeah, I was just getting baby energy from that too. But it could also just be a new beginning. But I do feel like family is significant to you in some way as well. I think that's everything. I feel like I am missing something that I wanted to say as well, but I guess it's not meant to be. So with this, I'm gonna say goodnight, and I hope that you guys have a good evening and the rest of your day. Please don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe. And until then, I love you guys. Do your best.